Hey guys, what's up? This is White Boy for the win, and welcome back to Why Mega Evolve. Now, earlier this week we talked about Mega Golurk, and today we're going to be talking about Mega Skarmory. But before we get started, let me just give you guys a brief explanation of what this series is about. Now, every week we'll be picking two Pokemon that either need a Mega Evolution, deserve a Mega Evolution, or want a Mega Evolution for. Now, this is based off my opinion alone, and no one else's. Now, if you guys do not like my opinion, then please post your own opinions in the comment section down below about what would you keep, what would you change, and etc. And at the end of every video, I will be telling you guys which Pokemon we're going to be talking about the following day. So with that said, here is Mega Skarmory. Now, I actually had someone comment on one of my old previous videos about a couple of months ago asking me to do a Mega Skarmory video. Now, it's not that I didn't want to do it at that given time, it was just that when it comes to my Why Mega Evolve series, I make a list ahead of time, and when it comes to that list, I make it pretty much 2 months ahead of time. So I already have the Pokemon I'm going to be talking about for the next couple of months. And once that list was done, I pretty much make another list of Pokemon I'm going to be talking about. Now, I recently just finished that list, and I was just going through other Pokemon of who I want to talk about, and I remember someone asking me to do a Mega Skarmory, so I put Skarmory on the top of the list of what we're going to be talking about first. So if you're still here and around the channel, here is Mega Skarmory. I hope you enjoy it, but regardless, before we actually get into it, obviously the picture that I'm using is a fan design. I mean, come on, that's not even what Skarmory looks like, and it's by no means this is going to be Mega Skarmory's design. It's just a fan art. Now, if you guys just say, oh, I don't think Skarmory's gonna look like that if in Mega Evolve, well, obviously not, since it is a fan design. And I already explained this in an update, but there's a couple of people telling me that I should leave credit where credit is due, but at the same time, it's not that I don't want to, it's just that I can't, because what if I give credit to someone else who didn't make this photo and they get all the credit, and yeah, just a big hassle. So I just decided not to give any credit. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that I can't. But regardless, Skarmory is one of those Pokemon where it's very, very competitive, or I won't say competitive, but it's a very well overused Pokemon in competitive play, and it just does a lot of work. It's a Pokemon that sets up rocks, spikes, it uses Defog, it uses Whirlwind, it uses Roar. I mean, those are just a lot of moves that Skarmory uses when it comes to competitive play. So it's more of like a setup, or a hazard setter-upper, and also somewhat of a defogger to get rid of the hazards on your side of the field. And also it does have a coverage move to pretty much like deal damage to your opponent, and that move most of the time is either Brave Bird or Iron Head, but most of the time it is Brave Bird. So Skarmory is a very competitive Pokemon when it comes to competitive play, and honestly, it's not that I don't think it needs a Mega Evolution, it's just that I would actually like to see a Mega Skarmory, don't get me wrong, but it's just that I don't know how to explain it, but it's just that I don't think it needs one. But at the same time, when it comes to Game Freak, he's going to give pretty much any Pokemon he decides a Mega Evolution, and Skarmory is no means necessary of potentially not getting a Mega, if that makes sense. So as you can tell from what I've done to its stats, I did increase everything but its special attack. Honestly, there's really no reason for me to increase nor decrease its special attack. His special attack is booty. I mean, no one even uses a special Skarmory, and also it's no reason for me to decrease it, because I think the base 100 points that a normal Mega would get is perfect enough for Skarmory. So regardless, let's just get right into it. So for its physical attack, I increased it from base 80 to base 110. Now, like I said, most of the time Skarmory is mostly known for setting up hazards and getting rid of hazards, but it also has that one move to actually deal damage rather than just setting up hazards and getting rid of them, and that most of the time it's Brave Bird, and sometimes you have the occasional Iron Head. But I wanted to increase its physical attack to base 110, because then Brave Bird will, and or Iron Head, depending on which one you want to go for, will do a lot more damage than it would have it being a base 80, because Brave Bird and Iron Head already as itself does a lot of damage with base 80 physical attack. So I think at base 110 physical attack for Skarmory, it's going to be very, very decent. Now, I've already explained its special attack, but for its physical defense, I increased it from base 140 to base 165. Now, Skarmory as itself is just a defensive, bulky monster, and can pretty much eat up any physical hit. So increasing its physical defense to base 165 is just going to be a very, very big, I wouldn't say threatening Pokemon, but at the same time it is, because it's going to be very, very bulky. Because the only thing that pretty much it's weak to is fire and electric, and that's pretty much it. And most of the time it is a special, but you can switch out Skarmory if you know you're going to be hitting by a physical type attack. But regardless, I think base 165 is a very good stat for a Skarmory. It's just going to be a very, very defensive, bulky monster. And for its special defense, I increased it from base 70 to base 95. I want to give its special defense a little bit of an increase because honestly, even though it does have sturdy most of the time when you run a competitive Skarmory, it still can get bopped by like a Thunderbolt or a Flamethrower. It really doesn't matter which one you go for, but nonetheless, it's most likely going to get one shot because its special defense at base 70 is, I guess you can say it's very, very bad because it's a very, very feral Pokemon on that like defensive side. So I wanted to increase it to base 95 to make it a little bit more bulkier. Maybe it'll maybe eat up like maybe one Thunderbolt or one Flamethrower depending on where it's coming from. But regardless, I think at base 95 for its special defense is actually pretty good. And for its speed, I increased it from base 70 to base 90. I wanted to give Skarmory a little bit of a speed increase because I think at base 70 is a little bit slow for Skarmory. I mean, most of the time it's just like I said, it's mostly for setting up hazards. But regardless, I want to have it a little bit more speed. That way it'll outspeed a lot more Pokemon. You'll be able to get off Brave Birds more easier, and the same thing for Iron Heads. I mean, you will outspeed your opponent, so that's why I increased it to base 90. Now for its base stat as a regular Skarmory, its base stat's at 465, and with a Mega Evolution it's going to be at 565. Now for its ability, this is the one thing I wanted to actually talk about the most rather than its stats, because when it comes to Gale Wings, I think that if Game Freak's going to give anyone else Gale Wings besides the Talonflame line, it should be Skarmory, because I think Skarmory Gale Wings on Skarmory will be very, very good. Most of the time, like I said, it runs Brave Bird. I mean, you also have Drill Peck and Aerial Ace for physical stab, flying type moves, and I think Gale Wings will be an amazing ability on Skarmory, because when it comes to the Talonflame line, and with it getting access to Gale Wings, I think it's pretty stupid and useless, because if I'm not mistaken, Gale Wings doubles your speed when using a flying type move. Talonflame speed is through the fucking roof. Like, it just makes no sense to actually give it Gale Wings in my opinion, but at the same time I understand why it has it. But on the other hand, I just think it's a useless ability for Talonflame, that makes sense. But nonetheless, I think giving Gale Wings to Skarmory will be very, very good, because even though it does have base, even though I did give it a base 90 for its speed, using Brave Bird will double its it will double the speed, I think, if you're using a flying type move. And most of the time, like I said, Skarmory uses Brave Bird most of the time over Iron Head. And I think it's a very good ability, just because like it can outspeed your opponent. Because if you're going to be dying next turn, you can just go for Brave Bird, outspeed your opponent, and pretty much just revenge kill or just deal damage, enough damage to pretty much switch into something and knock your that Pokemon out next turn, or whatever the case may be. Because honestly, like I said, I think if anyone deserves Gale Wings, it should be Skarmory. Now you guys can argue and say, why don't you just give it Sturdy again, because that was a very good ability for it. Well, yes, but at the same time, I don't really want to give their Mega abilities like the same as what they have for their non-Mega form, if that makes sense. I want to give Megas like either a new ability or a ability that already exists, but give it to like their Mega form, and Gale Wings is no exception. I honestly think that Skarmory will be a very good Gale Wings user. Now for its typing, I left it alone as Steel Flying. There's no reason for me to change it. It's one of the best typings in the game, in my opinion, and it just fits Skarmory, because like I said, there's no reason for me to change it. But if I was going to change it based off of this design, I probably would have changed it to Steel Fighting or Flying Fighting, but it gets access to no fighting type moves, so I didn't want to give it a pointless typing. So Steel Flying is the best typing for it, in my opinion. So with all that said, there is Mega Skarmory. So anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also don't forget to comment and subscribe. Now if you guys missed the previous Why Mega Evolve Evolve video. Once again, like I said, it is Mega Golurk. It will be in the description box down below, so you guys can go and check it out after the end of this video. I also did make a Twitch, will be in the description box as well. Go and give me a follow because I am going to be starting to stream soon. I'm most likely going to be only streaming Pokemon Showdown and Dueling Network. And if you don't know what Dueling Network is, it's pretty much the Showdown version. It's the Yu-Gi-Oh version of Showdown, if that makes sense. Because I do play Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm not very competitive, but I like to have fun playing Yu-Gi-Oh sometimes. And also, I do have a gaming channel. Now, I had to stop my BlazBlue Calamity Trigger Let's Play. Something happened to the file, and I can't get it back, so I just decided to scrap it. And so, yeah, so if you guys want to subscribe to that channel, also be in the description box down below. But once again, with all that said, the next Pokemon we are going to be talking about is, I would say, a very forgotten 6th gen Pokemon, and that is Avalugg. So yes, next week we are going to be talking about Mega Avalugg. So once again, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget to comment and subscribe. So this is White Boy for the win, and I'll catch you guys later.